To tennis shoes and tuxedos. Yeah, I'm just hoping that the prayers that I send up only end up in God's to-do list. Like I ain't been through this. Everything that Bobby Bland be singing by. For those who just tuned in, Who Got That Fire is the coolest platform for everything dealing with the culture. It's your main man, International, Jones. And today's sponsor is no other than the Chanel piece of Sleepy Bear. Fly shit on. You dig? What's up, Young Bizarre? What it do? What's that, Playboy?
What's the word? What's the word?
What's up, Young Champion? How you making out, brother?
Cool, man. Cool, just running around.
Hey, man, for those just joining, Who Got That Fire today? I got the one, the only, the one of one, unique individual, fly brother from the illest. You heard me, 313, my brother Bizarre. You heard me?
What up, though?
Got a lot of respect for you, brother. Like, you know what I mean? Got a lot of respect for you. Haven't had a chance to chop it up with you as often I would, especially the same studios environment.
Yeah.
I run into my partner, Fat Mac, and he was like, man, tell him, actually, do you remember we was in Detroit for the Jet Life tour or whatever, and he was chilling with us at the concert. I was like, man, hey, bro, that's a lot of weed be smoking for a man to remember. Some years.
Yeah, Currency actually came to my house and got some weed.
What's up? Early camaraderie and brotherhood.
Yeah, as soon as he got off the plane, he came straight to my
He came get that real gas.
Yeah, you already know.
What's been going on with you, man? I know music is always in the work, but what's been going on with you as of lately?
Oh, man, I just dropped this album probably like 6 months ago called He Got a Gun. Some straight. Yeah, thanks, man. It's some straight hip hop shit, man. I kind of went back to my roots, man. You know what I'm saying? I had lost the love for hip hop for a minute, man. You know what I'm saying? By this being such a fucking business, and you know what I'm saying, and you know, just so commercial and watered down. I had ran into this producer, this dude named Filemount, this little white dude, and he was working out of his basement, man. You know what I'm saying? With the, you know, the old school shit. He recording on Acid Pro, and you know what I'm saying? It's just, he was so pure of the way he thought. You know what I'm saying? His mind wasn't corrupted by the industry yet. All he gave a fuck about was making beats every fucking single day.
He wasn't tainted.
No, he wasn't tainted. So, man, I had caught a vibe over there, man. So I started going over there every day and recording and shit, and started being around the little younger dudes, and you know what I'm saying, having to compete with them. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of, you know, brought me back to, I didn't feel like I was 17 again.
Still sharpening and still over there.
Yeah.
It's crazy after being in the business this long, where we find different sparks of motivation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because being in the industry so long could just warp you, just, you know, kind of like just where you kind of thin. To your authenticity and everything. And then
that's why I DM'd you that question I asked you.
That was a real listener. Picture this here, right? You may be one of the first people that I just genuinely know, like, okay, this kid get it, you know, been getting it in a hard city, grew up in a hard city. And someone that also that is established in the music industry. That had asked me that question as genuinely as you had asked it. Now think about that from time to time. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was just a real question. And I was like, man, that's just so dope. That was just a vibe. I can't stop. I can't even stop. Like, this is where I'm at. Something is just cooking on me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's dope that, you know, you was able to tap into the young cat and it just automatically did something like that for you. I saw the cover, I saw the name of the song, and said, like, this is just dope. You know what I'm saying? You could tell somebody is in the zone, you feel me?
Right.
Yeah, I got to get through the whole album. I see you got a lot of bodies of work out there, bro. I was like, damn. I was like, this is, you know what I'm saying? Like, really some shit.
Right.
Do you do you have in the process of recording this album, did you use like did you turn the producer on to like a lot of the things that you've learned around a lot of greats? Was you able to drop him some gems in the recording process that probably blew him away? You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes they'll be so not tainted because they ain't been in the business on the world, you know what I mean? So they so pure, they just kind of going off of what they learning off of the internet and what they doing. But for somebody that's been in the studio with, you know, with even more greats, I'm quite sure there was some gems you probably blew them away on some shit, you know, around the Dr. Dre's, the Eminem, you know what I'm saying? D12 as a collective. You know, like shit, you know what I mean?
I helped him as far as like learning the business, as far as like the production and studio shit. Man, I'm so tired, man. I was just so happy that one producer can do the whole album. You know what I'm saying? And you know that you know, I've been independent for like the last 10 years. That shit hard. So you know what I'm saying? You gotta fucking get all these producers and you know, get the wave files, mix it, master it, man. So I was enjoying like this dude just taking control over everything. But as far as like the business concerned, he ain't never been out of Detroit before. So I took him on the road. I made him my hype man.
That's dope.
That's dope. Yeah.
That's dope. You hear me? Like, and that's normally how that happen because you know what I'm saying, like the pure vibe off of that alone also opens up trust.
Yeah.
And also open up trust. And that's hard. Like, you know, so I see you on tour, see you doing things. I tapped in, which I just forgot, like you moving. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then I see your post come over here and be like, oh shit, he over here doing this. Like he out the street chilling, you hear me?
Yeah.
How's the tour going for you?
I just been doing shows and shit, man. You know, that's how I was taught, how I was raised, man. That's how I came in the game, man. I came in the game grinding, man. You know, we used to take trips to New York and, you know what I'm saying, be out there sleeping in cars and just thugging, you know what I'm saying, just trying to get on. So, you know, that's always been instilled in my head, you know what I'm saying? So even when, you know, at the peak of my career, when we was on tour, you know, just say we in Oakland, California, shit, E40 might come by the show and say, hey man, I'm having a birthday party tonight. Shit, everybody want to swing through. Everybody else might not go, but I'm gonna go.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Outkast might say we having a barbecue tonight. I'm gonna go. And over the years, I've maintained these relationships with all these, you know, these rappers and entertainers and shit. And, you know, that's what's helped me through, you know, the independent journey, just having the relationships, you know what I'm saying? Like even going to California, you know how California is. I go out there, it ain't nothing planned on the agenda. But, you know, when you get out there, you just start bumping into shit.
When you get out there, there's a whole nother something, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's dope as hell, bro. Like, to still be doing it, of course, you know, always after these years, and that it not beat us up so much to when it discouraged us to still pursue it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Business. So to go back a little bit, you heard me? I was just seeing, you know, I was just seeing your birth and stuff. You were born actually 2 months after myself.
Okay.
That's what I was like, that's dope. You know, very seldom I run across people, you know, same age.
Right.
Same, you know what I'm saying? So when you are pursuing your career, what was that like pursuing before getting on? You know, what was that like growing up in Detroit for you? Like, you know, I always knew it was a rough city.
Yeah.
Never really talked to an artist that grew up there like a real conversation. Like nah, dog. Like, you know.
It was rough, man. It was rough, you know what I'm saying? But I had a support team around me, you know what I'm saying? Because I started rapping when I was like 10. You know what I'm saying? So my mama was my manager. You know what I'm saying? I was doing some shows. So my family, my cousins kind of looked at me like the, you know what I'm saying, the guy that possibly could make it. So they kind of kept me out a lot of bullshit. You know, if they was about to go to somewhere rowdy, like an after hour or some shit, I'd just pass.
Okay.
You know, I just got to the point where I was just obsessed with hip hop.
Sure.
So I was always trying to go somewhere where niggas wasn't fighting and you know what I'm saying, and gang shit, you know what I'm saying. I was just like around the hip hop shit. And at the time, Jay Dilla was popping. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And Slum Village and all that shit. So
what was that year? Just right now, when you what year was that to you? Right? What year was that?
That had to be like 96, 97.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And when I used to go into these hip hop venues, I don't know. I know you from New Orleans, so I know you got a similar thought about this. But when I go into these hip hop venues, for a second, I feel like I ain't in Detroit no more. You know what I'm saying? Like because of the love that's in there, the camaraderie,
right.
the MC, you know what I'm saying, the peacefulness and the incense and the spiritual vibe that's going on in there. Man, it made me forget that I was in Detroit. You know what I'm saying, for a second. So that's what kept me motivated, man. And I would take people up on the offers too, man. You know, like if somebody, you know, I used to have this shit where I used to live down the street from this record store, and artists used to come through there all the time. And my man I know worked there, so I got so cool with him. He started just telling me, "Yo, you know, Low Limit gonna be here at 6:00, or these dudes gonna be there, man." And I'll just be there like trying to, you know, rap for niggas and doing whatever I could, man. So that's all my brain. Like I always just was a rapper.
Sure.
I try to sell weed. I wasn't good at that.
A lot of similar stories.
Yeah, just put it this way. My first, I was selling 2 for $5s. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And females was the worst customers.
They don't want to pay.
They don't want to pay, or they just too short. I can get more than this around the block. Just put it this way, man. Time I was done, I ain't even had no re-up money.
I know that's hard. I used to be throwing parties with my shit.
Oh wow!
You know, you heard me? I make what I make. You heard me? I cover that. You feel me? And from the rest of that, I can invite all my people over, and it's a straight up gas party. That's how I was as a little dude.
Wow.
But it was dope. It was fly. We stayed out of trouble. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's crazy. That's what I'm saying. It's crazy. Similarities as I'm listening to you.
Yeah.
I'm saying I run into you even more detailed about that on myself.
Right.
But for you two, what was the instance for you to let you know, like, I could do this fucking shit? You heard me? Like, I'm nice. You know what I'm saying? What was the point for you where you knew, like, you about to be a contender? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you about to be a force to be heard. When was that for you?
Well, when me and Marshall came out with like our CDs and shit, we used to, you know, put them in record stores and shit, and they used to be on consignment, and they used to have them in a section called a local section, and I always thought that was kind of disrespectful.
We got one. I don't know. I've been looking at this. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Fun,
So,
right.
So me and Marshall, we used to go in there and take the CDs off our CDs out the local section and put them in the section they were supposed to be in, like under the B's,
marketing,
under the E's. We used to literally do that. So one day I was just, you know, talking to this older rapper, and he put a thought in my head, and this is where I knew, like, damn, okay. He told me, he say, man, you know, a lot of time as you know, local rappers, you know what I'm saying, New Orleans, Detroit, we get caught up so much in a local scene that we get to the point where we just trying to impress our peers. You know what I'm saying? And it's something I never thought about. You know what I'm saying? This rap dude told me one time, he said, man, remember, you competing against the world. You know what I'm saying? You competing against Method Man. You competing against Red Man. You know what I'm saying? I never looked at it like that. I always looked at like them dudes like they was the best.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I was just a guy trying to get on.
Right.
So when I started looking at it like, man, shit, I'm just as dope as these dudes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And start walking with that attitude and carrying myself with that confidence. You know what I'm saying? That's when I kind of knew, all right, man, I might have something.
Right. That's what's up. I know. Of course, it was hard to get instrumentals and stuff like that, so I automatically came up off of writing off of other people's tracks. You know,
Okay.
sometimes
Okay.
instrumental they give you the instrument. Sometimes on a project on a cassette they give you the instrumental or something.
Right.
So I could at least write to that. But
Right.
I know when I started, when I heard Outkast and Southern Playlistic Cadillac Funky Music, I enjoyed the album top to bottom, right? And I ended up blocking out their words right into the beats.
Oh,
Which I love. That was a space on the side, almost like I was putting a last verse on that with them.
Right.
On head as an artist coming up. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Man, I wanted to. I think I moved to Atlanta right shortly after that.
You was there. Picture, I heard the album and had to go visit. I wanted to see Calvin Road. I wanted to see College. You know, I had a friend living out there too, so it was cool for me to finally take a trip. I don't know what it was, but I went out there, and I'm talking about I did everything from Checkers. You know what I'm saying? Walking around the Marta, all that type of shit. So that's crazy. How was it making that move from Detroit to Atlanta? What that was like for you?
It was horrible.
a real story.
Yeah. All right. So I moved to Atlanta twice.
Okay.
So the first time what happened was I was just about to turn 18. Well, it was horrible, but it ended up in a positive story.
I got you.
So I was 18, and I had a couple homeboys that I had just met, some hip hop dudes, and I hung out with them all summer, and they were going to Morehouse in August. You know what I'm saying? They was all going off to school, like 5 of them.
Okay.
And I ain't never thought about college and no shit like that. So I tried to get accepted to Alabama State, thinking like, you know how you a kid, you thinking, oh, it's only 2 hours away. I could come back to Atlanta.
Right.
So I ended up not getting accepted to Alabama State. And I moved down to Atlanta to try to be close to my college buddies.
Right.
And but I ended up moving to Decatur, not knowing that college life and Decatur is 2 different things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I ended up getting like a job down there. I was working security. I had an apartment on Candler Road. You know what I'm saying? I was in the hood, like out there just, thugging. And, I end up, being a kid just away from home. I ended up falling on hard times, and I ended up having to go home. Right. But there was no more home. My mama had moved to Dallas.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she had moved.
Were you aware she was moving, or were you surprised?
No, we actually, when we left at the same time, because I didn't want to go to Dallas. So it was my first time on the highway, and we got to Nashville, and we separated. She went on this freeway, and I went on that freeway. Wow. Never been on the road in my life. 18, never drove nowhere, never.
Right. Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So it didn't work out for me in Atlanta, because I was trying to get up with Eric Sermon, man. That was my mission.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I was just called a rim shop every fucking day trying to get up with that dude, because you can tell me that I wasn't in the Death Squad. I wanted to be in the Death Squad.
You was of that texture.
Yeah, of that texture. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, so I ended up going back to Dallas.
Okay.
And my mama got me a job at the hospital doing security.
Sure.
Probably like 2 weeks working there. Marshall called me on the phone and told me he got signed to Dr. Dre, and he needed me to come out to LA.
That's great. Hold on. Now, were you saying Marshall, for those that's just fucked up somewhere, that can't put 2 and 2 together, a bizarre world?
Yeah.
What do you mean by Marshall?
Eminem. Yeah. Eminem.
This call in Dallas, working at the hospital, chilling. Moms looked out like the queens always do.
Yeah.
Bless their heart.
Right.
Bro, I need you to come to LA. I signed with Dr. Dre. What you said to yourself right there?
I thought it was a joke at first because he called me at work. You know what I'm saying?
You
I
know
thought it
you
was a
playing with me on the phone.
yeah. And he was like, "No, I'm dead serious, man." Because he went out there for a rap battle. I know he was going. I know he was going to LA for a battle.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That Winnie Day had hooked up for him.
Okay.
So
out the Winnie Day.
Yeah, shout out to Winnie Day, man. Man, she actually saved our career. So yeah. So once he told me, and I knew it was serious, I was excited, man. You know, it was kind of, you know, my mama knew was just kind of confused, like, what? Dr. Dre, what? You leaving? You about to move? What the fuck?
Right. What the fuck?
Yeah.
You at a hospital, you're going to work with a doctor.
Yeah.
She knew who Dr. Dre was, or she was just like,
yeah. So I ended up going to LA like 3 days later. I moved in with him for like about a month.
Okay.
But he had just started working with Dr. Dre. So, you know, he was kind of like reluctant on bringing people to the studio and all that type of shit. So I was really just kind of like sitting around.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? And this label out of Detroit called Federation Records, they called me and said they wanted to sign me.
Nice.
So I was like, hey, man, I got this opportunity in Detroit for this label called Federation Records. They want to sign me. And of course, he was against it. Like, no, man, you know what I'm saying? Stay here with me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, bro, you made your path already. You signed to Dr. Dre. You know what I'm saying? I got to go out here and get mine.
Right.
And I ended up going back to the city and put my first album out, Attack of the Weirdos. And then it sold like 20,000 copies independently.
Nice.
And that built my buzz up. So finally, when Marshall came out with How My Name Is and all that shit, I was already popping. You know what I'm saying? So it just all made sense. You know what I'm saying? So you know, I'm glad I made that move, man, because I built my own name instead of just following behind him.
I think most people always feel the same. You always want to be able to bring something to the table, you know, regardless of partnerships and your camaraderie, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, as a team, you know what I'm saying? Everybody play their part, but I feel the same way to this day, you know what I'm saying? And that's good, establishing your brand also to bring something to the table, you know what I'm saying? You're just not somebody's about to lift up. You're somebody extending their hand to do business with you.
Right.
Yeah, so that's dope, man. The whole Dr. Dre experience. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man.
What the fuck, homie? Like that's like a bucket list, a wish list, that's a today.
Yeah.
I mean, like for you, what was your state of thinking? What was your vibe sitting there being this fly on the wall kind of thing?
Man. Well, just say this, before I met Dr. Dre, like I had heard stories about like how like I was real cool with Devin, you know what I'm saying? And you know, I had heard stories about how Dre would have niggas in hotel rooms for months. Right. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get up with him, you know what I'm saying? Like I know Meth and Red went through that, like, you know what I'm saying, just trying to get in his schedule or whatever. So, you know, I had heard about him, how hard it was to get to him. So when I first met him, I remember he was just like, D12, what's up? And he was like, who was that nigga Bizarre? And they all pointed at me and shit. And he just he quoted one of my lyrics and shit. And I was just like, wow, I was stunned. Wow. So you know, and he ended up being a cool mentor. And I ain't gonna lie, a lot of the lines that you hear that come out my mouth, like they started off as like jokes in the studio. You know what I'm saying? Like I might say, you know why my hands are so numb? My grandmother sucked my dick. You know, I say some wild shit. Right. And Dre was always like, yo, keep that. Yo, say that. You know what I'm saying? He pushed me to be Bizarre. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, to stay in my lane. Like, you know, some lines that I might have been questionable, or he was, no, say that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's what I remember about Dre. And He loved Popeye's chicken. You know what I'm saying?
Family.
And Hennessy and Popeye chicken.
That sounds like a wedding.
Right.
Perfect wedding. You heard me? Like the cater.
Yeah.
The episode of Bizarre, episode of Who Got That Fire was sponsored by Hennessy and Popeyes. Make sure you get
man.
Also get you the quarter of the corner store.
Yeah.
Make sure they tap the bottle. And we're back.
Yeah.
That was sad.
And I watched Dre, man. He used to go through a pair of speakers a week.
Wow.
Because they were so motherfucking loud, man. Like his drums might have been the loudest drums to this day, the loudest drums I ever heard in my life, man. You know what I'm saying? And he just bring life to shit, man. I just see him, you know what I'm saying? He's a master worker, man. Master.
A master worker. I got invited to a writing session once, but then it changed up.
Okay.
Yeah, me and Currency was in LA. Saying we got invited to a writing session with Dr. Dre, and then something came up on the schedule. I'll tell you about it also. I could encounter Snoop, introduced me to him one time at the Up and Smoke tour.
Okay.
But I love
shit. We did the Up and Smoke tour too. Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like I was
okay.
on another section, so I can get to meet you gentlemen that day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think it's dope, man, that the Dr. Dre, the Marshall, was open-minded to you, and also other artists and guys within your group, because I think you guys were refreshing and brought something what I missed in hip hop. All the variety.
Right.
Style, and you can appreciate that. I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed that about D12.
Yeah.
That's what I think is missing today. People's own identity.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
I think that's why you here still today too, my brother. You hear me? Like, you got your own identity. You're not scared to be you.
Yeah, you too.
Appreciate you too. Appreciate you. A lot of respect, man. Like I said to myself, I gotta get some music in with you. But I'm grateful that you find time to for me, because not only my fans, your fans, they should be mingling, knowing each other. I know the platform is constantly growing, and I saw that the album that you have out, He Got a Gun, is bold. It's back to the talking about, like somebody I'm gonna stand out because I'm gonna be 100% me. Right.
You know? And you know what? I ain't gonna lie, that this was the hardest shit for me to do, because, like, you know, I know you know this too. I'm a hip hop fan. I'm a fan of good music.
Sure.
So I just went through this phase, man, where, you know, I like super like hip hop shit. I can sing a little bit, you know what I'm saying? All this shit. So I went through all these different phases, but it's really shit that's from my heart. You know what I'm saying? But I had to realize this formula that is hard for me to realize. Like, I realized, like, okay, like I might do some hardcore hip hop shit, but then I might do a singing song. I might do this song. I might do that song. And because my mind is all over the place. So it just be like, you know, all these random pieces. But He Got a Gun was the first time that I was conscious of, like, I got to stay on this theme. And I had to realize that albums are about themes, like Cushion Orange Juice, Wiz Khalifa, classic. You know what I'm saying?
Smart, bro.
You gotta stick to a theme. So for the first time in my career, I had to make this decision of, that's a dope song, but it don't fit the album.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? That's dope, but people don't want to hear me doing this, or, you know what I'm saying? I got to stick to this. And when I came back to the hardcore hip hop shit, and that voice that I give niggas, and that delivery, you know what I'm saying? My fans just went crazy, like, yes, this is what we wanted from you. You know what I'm saying? Stick to that shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Which is, it's hard to do sometimes, because, you know,
it's hard to do. I could be wrong. I'm a
Yeah.
tap in on this. It's hard to do because you got the check or where a possible check can be.
Right.
Is telling you that you need to upgrade by doing this an experiment like this.
Right.
Then you have diehard fans and supporters who their voice isn't as loud on social media, concerts, that almost don't want an upgrade or change.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's so hard to find that middle of being.
So let me ask you this question real quick. I'm going to cut you off.
It's all good.
If somebody wanted to do a feature with you,
Right.
just to say it's a big artist,
right?
You know what I'm saying? And the dude say, "Hey man, I want that feed from No Limit." You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you give him that, or do you say, "I'm not that guy no more," or you know what I'm saying? Or
it's according to how much it is for the culture. If we're making a real contribution for culture, the song, the vibe, I have no problem doing it because I'm gonna be drawn to it and express that.
right,
National Jones vibe is what I'm doing to show people that you can do hip hop over 35, and there's an audience for that when you don't think that there is, and we're gonna keep building on that. I don't have a problem. I ain't gonna lie, I do get offers to do a lot of Fiend features, and it some of them just flat out, I'm gonna shoot a nigga, kill a nigga, da 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 da. And I just, sometimes if it's logic behind my action, I'll feel like I can express that. But if I can't even make myself do it because I am motivated, it don't really, you know what I mean? I let them know, like, I told it to Cat before. It's crazy you should ask that. But I got no problem doing it, you heard me? At all. I just, let's pull that out the bag and make it count. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, let's just make it count. I know, I guarantee you, just for an example, not to say that this will happen soon. If I work with Dr. Dre and Dr. Dre say, you know what, that's fine and dandy, homie, but I'm gonna need this.
Right.
It's for the culture. So I'm a give him that because I would love to see what additional art can come out of that.
Yeah. I'm with that too.
Yeah, and it don't have to be somebody like it could be an upcoming artist. Like, like I just did that for the artists locally at home. Like Boy Giz, he got a joint called We Outside, and he asked for, he didn't say specifically like what you said, but I could tell that's what he was, the request. Gave him 1994, 90 to 98, Fiend, right?
Right.
I'm happy I did, man, but I ended up giving him a little twist of where the National Jones is on the end of it.
Okay.
And nobody but the creator was like, let me take that pen from you, bro. Let me do that for you right quick, you feel me? And it made it do what it did, and it made our area came alive. You know what I'm saying? It came alive. We got work to do too.
Yeah. Well, see, I feel different because, how can I say this? When I was in D12, you know what I'm saying? Like Marshall got like obsessed with me being this character.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This funny guy. So a lot of people forgot that that I come from battle rap or, a lot of shit. So, I think it became so obsessed with me being funny and just saying outrageous shit that, he wasn't really checking me on my lyricism like there were other dudes in the group.
Right.
So one day I was watching Gilly the Kid and Wallow. They had a podcast and they had the 10 worst rappers ever to come out.
Really?
And they had my name on there. And I was like highly offended.
Okay.
But then I had to realize, like, this is what people know of me. So from that point, it kind of lit a fire under my ass. Where I'm not playing. I'm not. It ain't nothing. It ain't. You know what I'm saying? Like that bizarre. Yeah.
I see where you're going with this.
Yeah, that bizarre is never gonna come back. You know what I'm saying? Like I do shows and shit like, but
right.
I hate when people try to say we want the Bazaar from D12. We want you to talk about some silly shit and this and that when it ain't nothing funny no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I even notice now, even with this album, my features is changed.
I got you.
Now I'm getting more serious spitters.
You telling them you're gonna get these bars, bitch.
Yeah.
Playing with me, you're gonna get these bars, bitch.
Right.
I see what you're saying. Like, and I was wondering well, but I see it. Like, I'm happy you explained that.
Yeah.
I see it.
Yeah.
I see it. I got you.
Like I'll do a video and the nigga might be like, hey man, we want you to wear your shower cap. Man, that's 20 years ago.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like niggas gotta elevate and grow with the time. Like, you know what I'm saying, nigga. You know, I ain't Flavor Flav, don't disrespect the Flavor Flav, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't just in a uniform. Like niggas be thinking I'm on some uniform shit. Like, oh, get the shower cap on, man. Take your shirt off, man. And
it's bigger than that.
Yeah, it's way bigger than that.
Yeah, the brand,
right?
The new brand gonna be bigger than the first brand,
right? And that's the question I always wanted to ask you. You know what I'm saying? I know I ain't really get a clear answer because when we was talking through DMs and shit. But what I know you said Puffy had something to do with it. What made you make that transition?
Yeah, man. I met Puff, and Puff out of nowhere was like, "Walk with me, Daddy. You know, walk with me, just running and talking." And he was like, "Look, man, know it's okay and know when it's time to reinvent yourself. And you gotta be okay with the reinvention.
Right.
And they'll come along because you already doing it for a space that it don't have no particular dollar amount on it yet.
Right.
That's valuable alone.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think that's smart, and I am doing that too. I'm more like I'm releasing the International Jones Coolers in Session 3 project. That's one of the things that the kids like, especially in my Jet Life fan base. They love the Coolers in Session project. So I'm on that, and I'm gonna release a video tomorrow. The vibe is just, I can't explain it, bro. Like what you want, you gonna get these bars, bitch. You gonna get what Bazaar, you gonna get where I'm at. That's why I am too, and I'm okay with not watching the numbers and letting it exist. You know, let the art exist. Maybe I get a chance to appreciate all will come from it in this lifetime. Maybe I won't, but it won't be a case if I didn't do the work.
Right.
Then you're going to attract the people that's on that same energy that want to support that. You know what I'm saying?
But what made Puffy just single you out and just see that about you to where, you know what I'm saying, he felt like he had to give you that information?
I don't know. He could have told 30 people before he saw me.
Right. No, it was something. It was something about you that, you know, he felt like he had to say that.
Man, it's 1999.
Right.
And like I said, we just in the back part of this awards show, chilling, running it, and he walked through a crowd of my label mates and asked to speak. Or actually, he wanted me to introduce me to FIEND, and that was that. We dapped off. He told me he loved talking like I bring it, that warmth shit. He like, man, what the hell? What the fuck is this shit? He like, and then that was that, and he was getting called to the stage, and he told me to walk with him.
Yeah,
I walked, and then he was like, man, know when it's time to reinvent yourself. I don't know. It could have been nobody but the universe, the ancestors, and the creator.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
It snapped in me. I promise you, I closed my father's eyes, the rest, November 18th, 2010. And I made my mind up. I wanted to celebrate instead of being miserable. So I wanted to celebrate his life. So I put together a project called Tennis Shoes and Tuxedos. And it was going through all the ballroom music and vibes that me and him used to jam to. I put hip hop drums on, or some 808 shit, and celebrate.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I wanted to celebrate him. You know what I'm saying? Marvin Gaye, I Want You. I just bro. I just felt free of expression like a sniper, bro. I was so accurate with this shit, bro. I just was like,
Yeah.
you be like hitting somebody, you don't hear this shit. You know what I'm saying?
At the office, I roll my sleeves up, roll this weed up, check my email and Twitter. Did I mention I got my feet up? Before I rap with Snoop Dogg, I was G'd up. Disciples around me knew I wasn't Jesus. Young dreamer, tennis shoes and tuxedo.